Think of the quintessential university campus. You might picture the Gothic quads of Oxford or the classic brick courtyards of Harvard. Now, imagine a centralized academic metropolis operating at that exact same elite level, only it was built in the 5th century. At its peak, ancient Nalanda hosted 10,000 international students and 2,000 teachers. It featured a meticulously planned 14-hectare grid of dormitories, lecture halls, and library towers stretching up to 9 stories high. Managing a population of 12,000 scholars presents a staggering logistical problem. These minds required constant housing, feeding, and coordination, all while sitting in the scorching, humid heat of the Magadha Plains in northern India, all without a single watt of electricity. Nalanda operated as a highly engineered, self-sustaining machine. To understand how it achieved its legendary status and survived for 8 centuries, we have to reverse engineer its ancient hardware. Managing this sprawling operation required high-level administration. A network of up to 200 surrounding villages was legally bound by royal decree to bypass the king's treasury entirely. Their agrarian surplus, massive yields of rice, butter, and milk, flowed directly into the university's central granaries. This cross-section demonstrates the architectural technology. The university's solid 10-foot-thick brick walls acted as a massive thermal battery. They absorbed daytime solar radiation to keep the interior dormitories cool, then radiated that trapped heat out into the night air. To coordinate classes and meals for thousands, they relied on a clepsydra, or water clock. As the small perforated copper bowl filled and sank inside the larger basin, it triggered a gong. This mechanism standardized time across the campus with military precision. Managing this sprawling operation required high-level administration. The university's official clay seals, frequently stamped with the Garuda, a symbol of the Hindu Gupta kings, confirm that this Buddhist institution enjoyed massive royal patronage. With physical comfort engineered into the bricks and economic security guaranteed by the village grants, the scholars were entirely freed from the daily tasks of survival. This infrastructure created a unique incubator for pure intellectual pursuit. You couldn't buy your way into Nalanda. The entrance exams, the Dwara Panditas. They posed complex philosophical paradoxes to weary travelers, resulting in a recorded 80% failure rate based entirely on logical capability. Inside, the core of the curriculum was Hetu Vidya, the science of logic. Scholars used reason to debate, dissect, and debug philosophical concepts, testing religious faith against real-world syllogisms. In the late 1190s, the system crashed. A Turkic military general named Bakhtiar Khilji led an invasion force into the region. To his advancing cavalry, Nalanda's towering structures and massive windowless brick walls looked indistinguishable from a fortified military garrison. The archaeological record confirms the nature of the destruction. Excavators digging through the ruins uncovered a thick layer of ash and charcoal. Deep within the collapsed foundations, they found thousands of grains of carbonized rice, proof of a sustained fire consuming the university's economic reserves. The invaders torched the Dharmaganja library complex. Millions of palm leaf and birch bark manuscripts covering centuries of medicine, astronomy, and logic burned to ash. The loss of that centralized knowledge repository effectively severed the intellectual memory of the region. But the university didn't vanish instantly. In 1235, a Tibetan pilgrim named Dharma Swamin visited the ruins. He found a 90-year-old teacher hiding with a handful of students among the charred bricks. Stripped of its 200-village supply chain and its physical infrastructure, the system slowly starved to death over decades. 8 centuries later, an international coalition representing countries across the East Asia Summit initiated a diplomatic push to reboot the Nalanda system. Former Indian President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam championed the creation of a functioning, forward-looking international university that mirrored the original's purpose. The late Pritzker Prize-winning architect B.V. Doshi and his team engineered the 2024 campus to utilize the bio-climatic principles found in the ancient ruins. This comparison reveals the architectural bridge. On the left, ancient solid thermal mass bricks repel the heat. On the right, the new campus utilizes modern double-skin cavity facades. These hollow outer layers trap a cushion of air, insulating the modern buildings against the Bihar heat. Following the blue arrows on the right, you can see the modern DVAP cooling system. It draws air over the campus's central water body, the Kamal Sagar, passing it through specialized desiccants to drop the temperature indoors without relying on energy-draining air conditioning units. The ancient 200-village supply chain has been replaced by a 6.5 megawatt solar farm and an on-site biomass plant. This allows the new Nalanda to operate as a closed-loop, net-zero energy system. An invading army can destroy a physical library and silence a city for centuries. But the current revival demonstrates that the logic behind Nalanda, a research center intelligently engineered for its specific environment, remains viable 800 years after the ancient fire went out.